Hello guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or whatsoever time you come across this video. It's nice to have you on board in ECN228 video series. In this video series, we are going to tackle the course ECN228 from the University of Buea, Cameroon. This video series is going to be made up of 5 or 6 videos that will help you answer tutorial questions in ECN228. So stay with me as we begin. Today's video, we are going to be handling 10 multiple choices from this course. We are not just going to give you answers to this multiple choice, but we are going to give you a brief explanation as in why we are making the choices that we are making for a particular questions. So guys, enjoy your stay and don't forget to like, subscribe and share my videos with your friends, as it will go a long way helping them. Without much ado, let's dive into the first question. So today the question number 1 says that which of the following best describes ECN228? So as we know already, ECN228 is a course that is dealing with statistics. So what type of statistic is it dealing with? We have realized that in this course we are going to be using things like tables to describe a population. We are going to be using things like mean, variance, standard deviation, mode, and median to describe a particular population or a sample. And this type of statistic is what we call descriptive statistics. We are using these values to describe a population or a sample. So we call ECN228 as descriptive statistics. So our best answer there is answer B, descriptive statistics. Question 2 says that the value that has half of the observation above it and half below it is called the range, median, mean, and mode. Okay guys, what is a range? A range is simply the difference between the highest value and the lowest value. So if they give you a set of numbers, we simply take the highest number in that set minus the lowest number in that set. That is what we mean by a range. So according to that description, the value that has half of the observation above it and below it is not a range. What about a median? A median is simply a value that is what we call the middle value. The middle value can only be gotten after you must have arranged the data into ascending order or descending order. So if you arrange the data in ascending or descending order, then we pick the middle value. If we pick this middle value, we discover that half of the same observations will be above and half of it will be below. So the correct answer there is the median. But for the sake of the lectures or this video, we are just going to define the mean and the mode as well. So a mean simply means the average. The average simply means we are going to sum all the possible values that has been given to us and divide by the number of the sample space or the number of values that are in that set. While the mode is simply the value with the highest frequency. When we talk about frequency, we talk about occurrence. So the value that occurs the highest number of times is what we call the mode. In question 3, it says that in a sample of 800 students in a university. Now, the first thing I want us to note, we are not talking about the total number of students in the university. We are talking about 800 students out of the total number of students in the university. 160 or 20% are accounting majors. Based on the information, the school magazine reports that 20% of the students in the university are accounting major. This report is an example of a sample. It's not a sample. Sampling simply means that what they have already done is what we call sampling, meaning we are going to choose a particular number of students out of the total number of students, like the way they have chosen 800 out of the total number of students from the university. Population simply means the total number of students under investigation. So in this case, the total number of students in the university will be the population. Inference stats. Here, stats simply means statistics. Inference statistics, what does it mean? Inference simply means when we are making a guess or when we are making an assumption, right? So in this case, the correct answer is inferential statistics. Why? Because the report is simply making an assumption. If you go into that school, perhaps more than 20% will be accounting major, or less than the actual 20% is accounting major. It's just a coincidence that from the sample that have been taken here, which are 800 students, 20% are accounting students, but that is not actually the real number of students that are accounting major in that university. So we have made an assumption based on the sample that we have taken. And if we are making an assumption in statistics, we call this assumption, we call it inferential statistics. Why descriptive statistics, we have seen it above in question 1 when we are talking about what we are describing the sample using values like the mean, the variance, standard deviation, or tables. So in this case, since we are making assumptions, we call it inferential statistics. Question 4. The question 4 says that a statistic professor asks students in a class their ages. On the basis of this information, the professor states that the average age of all the students in the university is 21 years. This is an example of a census, descriptive stats, an experiment, inferential stats, none of the above. So in census and experiments, they are already off our table, because when we are carrying on a census and an experiment, there are certain values that there are certain procedures that we need to follow in order to carry them out, be it governmental procedures or be it scientific procedures. But there are certain procedures that we need to follow in order to ensure that the conclusion we are going to draw is correct. But in this case, we are following no procedure. We are just going to assume that what the students are telling us is true. So it's an assumption. And now the teacher has made another assumption by saying that what the average of all the students in the university is 21 years. But all the students are not actually 21 years, right? So he's making an assumption, and he has said maybe all the students in the university, the average is 21 years. And we have said if we are making assumptions, we are talking about inferential statistics. So this answer again is inferential statistics. The next question is question number 5. As part of a quality improvement program, an email order company records the length of time customers spent on hold waiting to place their orders via the telephone. The type of data involved here is, okay, so if we are waiting online to place our order on the telephone, what type of data are we collecting? Now we know that what there are two types of data. This data can be qualitative or it can be quantitative. When we are talking about qualitative data, we are talking about data that can be assigned a particular quality, like words, not actually numbers, like good, better, and so on. So we are giving them words like values, not numbers, to classify them. When we are talking about quantitative data, we are giving this data numbered values. So quantitative data will answer questions like how much, how many, how much, 2,000 francs. So we have given that particular unit a particular number value. So if we give it a number value, we say we are talking about quantitative data. If we are just describing that particular value using words, we say we are getting what? Qualitative data. Now, when we are talking about qualitative data, we talk about nominal and ordinal data. Now, when we look at our question at hand, we are talking about the length of time. The length of time can be measured in seconds, minutes, hours, and so on. So some people can take 1 minute, some people can take 1.5 minutes, some people can take 1 hour to wait online, right? So in this case, we'll be talking about numbered values. So we'll be talking about quantitative data. So when we look at our options given there, we will remove all of the qualitative data, which is A and E part, and we'll be left with quantitative data, which is B, continuous and discrete. Continuous and discrete values are simply what? The two types of quantitative data that we have. And when we are talking about discrete value, we talk about values that have a particular interval, or values that can be counted. Can be counted here simply means they will have whole numbers, or what we call integers, like 1, 2, 3, 0. They will not have decimals, so we say discrete values can be counted, while continuous values, we say they can be measured. Measurement here, we simply means that what these values can have decimal point. Like, what's the distance between Munya and Moliko? It can be 2 kilometers, it can be 1.5 kilometers, and so on. So it can take decimal values, and if it takes decimal values, we say that what it is measured, it is continuous. So in this question, the length of time can keep on changing from 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and so on. So the length of time here will be continuous. Okay, the next part of the question, which is question 6, is talking about in a web-based survey, customers are asked to rate a company's product on the following scale: excellent, good, average, or poor. This is an example of what type of data? So from what we have described in the previous question, question 5, we can see that is qualitative data, and qualitative data can only be ordinal or nominal. Now when we talk about ordinal data, we talk about a data that has a particular order. So if we are classifying it, we can classify good based on the particular order, the best order to the poor order, which is excellent, good, average, and poor. When we are talking about nominal data, we don't talk about any order, we just list like a gender, male, like the hair color, and so on. So since we are talking about a particular order in which we are going to provide our customers, we are going to talk about excellent, good, average, or poor, and therefore we are going to be talking about the ordinal data. Question 7. Since the mode is the most frequently occurring data value in a distribution, it A can never be larger than the mean, B is always larger than the mean, C is always larger than the median, B part is always larger than the median, and C part is always larger than the mean. D part must have a value of at least 2. Okay guys, the relationship between the mean, mode, and median is determined by the data that we have at hand. There is no particular relationship that we have between them. At times the mean, the mode, and the median are the same. At times they vary. At times it's less than, at times it's greater than, at times it's equal. So based on the data we have at hand, we can then make predictions or get to know the mean and the median and the relationship based on that particular data. So there is no pre-assumptions that we must take into account. Therefore, we don't have any assumed relationship between them. So our best answer there is none of the above. Okay, question 8. The best source of data for any study is, okay, we don't have any best source of data for any studies because most of the data are interrelated. So if they are interrelated, in most cases that we are going to collect data, we'll have a combination of secondary, primary, and so on. So we say that what no data is best. For us to really understand a particular situation, we need to collect a large volume of data, and if we are collecting a large volume of data, we must have this interrelationship between these data. So no data is very good for studies. We must get all of the data from all possible sources that we can. So the best answer there is none of the above. Okay, question 9. Last year, a small statistical consulting company paid each of its 5 statistical clerks 220,000 francs, 2 statistic analysts 500,000 francs each, and senior statistic or owner 2,700,000 francs. The number of employees earning less than the mean salary is, so for us to know it, we need to calculate the mean. If we calculate the mean, then we count the number of people earning less than the mean. So to calculate the mean, we need to pull up our calculator here. So let's, a minute please, let me pull up my calculator here. Okay, that's our calculator. So we have said that 5 people are being paid a sum of 220,000. So 5 times 220, 1, 2, 3, 220,000, which will give us a total sum of 1,100,000 plus 2 people are paid 500,000 francs each. So that's 500,000. So that will give us, oh no, 2 people are paid 500,000 francs each. So that will give us a total of 1 million. Sorry, let me take this all over again. So we have 5 people are paid 220, 1, 2, 3, 220,000. That will give us 1,100,000 plus 2 people are paid 500,000 each. That will give us 1 million, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, plus the owner is paid 2,700,000. So the total amount will be that. The mean is the total amount divided by the sum of the people in that company. So how many people do we have? We have 5 people for 200,000. We have 2 people for 500,000. That is 5 plus 2, 6, 7, 8. And we have 1 person for 270. So 5 plus 2 plus 1. So we have 8 people, which is, we divide that amount by 8. So it's going to give us 600,000. So when we look at 600,000, how many people have an amount less than 600,000? So we have 5 people have 220,000 francs each. So it's less than 600,000. So 5 already. 2 people have 500,000. 500,000 is less than 600,000. And 1 person has 2,700,000. So the only amount that is greater than 600,000 is 2,700,000. So how many people have 220,000? 5 plus 2 people that have 500,000. So that gives us a total number of 7 people who have less than the mean of 600,000. Okay, so and the last question for today, which is question 10, says that consider the following data: 1, 7, 3, 3, 6, and 4. The mean and the median for this data are, okay guys, if you see a question like this, they have not said respectively, but it was supposed to be respectively. So if you see a question like this, it's better for you to choose an answer that respect the other respectively. Okay, so the mean and the median for this data is, for us to get the median or the median of this data, we need to arrange the data first in ascending or descending order. In this case, we'll first arrange the data in ascending order. So we are going to have the data to be 1, 3, 3, 4, 6, 7. Now, what is the mean? The mean is simply we add all of this number and then we count how many numbers are there and we divide the result by that sample space. So we are going to have 1 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 plus 6 plus 7 divided by how many numbers are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 numbers. So we are going to have an answer of 4. So the mean is 4. Now when we are talking about the median, which is the middle number, we need to divide the data into 2 parts. So if we look at that data, we see that the data is even. So if it's even, then we say 2 numbers will fall in the mean. So we sum the 2 numbers and divide by 2. So when we look here, the mean will fall between 3 and 4, so that the same numbers are on the right and the same numbers are on the left. So we have 1, 2, 3 numbers on the left, 1, 2, 3 numbers on the right. So the mean will be between 3 and 4. So we are going to pick the numbers 3 and 4, add them and divide the result by 2. So we are going to have 3 plus 4, which is 7, divided by 2, which is going to give us 3.5. So the mean and the median will be 4 and 3.5 respectively, and that gives us an answer of E. So guys, that's how we handle questions in ECN228. We are going to have about 10 more or 20 more multiple choice in our next videos, and from there we are going to proceed with structural questions in ECN228. I was glad to have you here. My name is Aloge, and nice to meet you in the next course. So guys, but don't forget to like, subscribe and share my videos. Bye bye, and see you next time.